I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We are joined by Fae Regalia. Hi.
Hi.
Hey, appreciate you coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, I'm Fae Regalia. I'm a fairy VTuber, and I'm still a little bit green, getting things going, but I'm working hard.
Oh, absolutely. And you've got things going pretty well for just getting started, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah. What made you get started with the VTubing?
Well, VTubing was like it's not a new thing for me specifically, but like as Fae Regalia, it's relatively new. I was more into it of like just casual like avatar I threw together in like 10 minutes in Vroid a while ago. But like what got me into it in the first place was, I always watched VTubers, but it was a little bit mystical to me.
Mm. So you didn't
And once
you didn't know what was going on behind the curtains.
I didn't.
Yeah.
And I came across this headline that it specifically read that quote, trans people are finding sanctuary in VTubing. I was like, wait, this is something I can do. And I immediately pursued it that same day.
And so you didn't even know it was kind of a dream of yours until they showed you it was a dream of yours.
Exactly.
Sometimes it works out that way. So was it easy for you to come on and talk with an audience, or was that kind of against your nature?
It's still a little against my nature, but it's gotten a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's been a little easier to initiate conversations or join in conversations with chat.
It has, yes.
Has that carried over into the real world yet?
Oh, it also has, yes, for sure.
That's cool. It's
people I'd never talked to before. I've been talking to in real life.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that it kind of gets to be a almost a therapy for people sometimes. That it kind of lets them open up a little bit because you get to share your talents with us and we appreciate it. And it's always good to have somebody on and be able to kind of let them see what they got as far as what they're able to do. So when I tune into one of your streams, what am I tuning into? What are you doing?
At the moment, I have things cooking behind the scenes, but I've been doing Monster Hunter on Saturdays, and Valheim has been bouncing around, but it's been collabs with this group of people mostly.
Oh, cool. And was it easy to get to the group? Did you know them before you started, or?
I did not.
Oh.
As I started up as Fae Regalia, I also joined a VTuber group.
And
that got a lot of the ball rolling for me.
Yeah. And are you still with the group?
I am, yes.
And go ahead. And what's the group's name?
Apotheosis.
Yes. I know folks from Apotheosis pretty well. I've had several folks on, and fun folks.
All of them are great people.
Jihi is great. and it's one of my first guests actually a long time ago. Yeah, but it's great to see when a group of folks are able to come together and actually work together and promote each other and not have a whole lot of behind the scenes drama stuff. So it seemed like a good fit for you, and so far it has been.
Indeed, it has.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, seeing the article about trans folks being able to kind of be accepted more, and to an outside person looking at it, seems that this is absolutely a fact. Do you still feel that way after being on with folks for a while, or have you found some things you weren't expecting that would be problems?
Oh, I think there's some not so nice people in any group, but in VTubing specifically, while I have met those kinds of people,
Hmm.
it has wildly, like, without question, been a very accepting group of people.
Mm, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. And unfortunately, no matter what your activity, you're going to find some bad eggs and some rotten nuts, and um, and people who just want to stir up stuff. That hopefully hasn't happened to you, or has it?
It has not happened.
Good. Stay away from Fae Regalia, okay? If you're one of those folks. Otherwise, absolutely go over and check out what's going on. We must protect. So far, it's been uh, pretty easy for you, or has there been some rough spots?
Ah, uh, getting where I want to be with my content has been remarkably difficult.
Mm.
But
What's been the problem with it?
it, I don't I don't seem to be able to figure certain things out.
Mm.
Like it's some there's like I don't have a lot of like monetary support for myself at the moment. So
Ah.
it's like there's things like I've done my own model, I've done my own graphics,
Mhm.
I've done my own setup, just and there's still things I want that are not what I have, and because I can't easily support myself, I have made that I want to make it myself,
Mm. Are
and
you
it's
an
just not a
artist?
skill that I have.
Uh,
I'm trying to be.
yes. So basically, you're an artist. You just haven't called yourself one yet.
Sure.
uh, even if you can pronounce it correctly, you've got me beat. As it, then I'm so bad an artist, I average out everybody else's talent.
Oh,
I bring you all back down to zero. That's how good I am. But
it's
it's
powerful.
but it's great to see that you're able to do it. And do you want to do art streams?
I've done a few,
Yeah. How's that
and
gone?
they haven't been like my favorite streams.
Hmm.
Like the ones I've done, they've never like been the most successful. One of them was I was working on a background, which that one didn't go anywhere before I lost the files.
Well, yeah,
And
that.
then another one was just making a redraw of this one thing I made for a game me and my friends played,
Mm,
which was just draw something in 15 minutes. But not it wasn't great.
mm,
So I was like, oh, I know I'm better. I'll redraw it. It'll be fun.
yeah, yeah. And so
That one went a lot better.
that's good. That's good. It's tough, even as the technology gets bigger and easier to do. Sometimes it's also easier to foul up, and I know that from radio because we used to have to record all our interviews on audio tape, and you did your best to keep it away from magnets and know where it was stored. But if you lose it on the computer, you probably aren't getting it back.
Oh no.
I've lost a couple of 30-minute interviews in the past because the computer decided to just eat it and leave absolutely no trace whatsoever. Is that what happened with your background?
Oh no. I was having issues with my graphics drivers,
Oh.
and I couldn't figure out any solution. And I career wise, I'm between IT jobs, so it's like I know how to do this, and I couldn't find a solution, so I just reset my whole computer, and that's what happened. In my frustration, I just reset everything.
I can't even imagine how frustrating that would be. I know it. I can build the whole thing and bring it back. Why isn't this working? It sounds like one of those like the house television show where you got all these expert doctors and they're doing everything right, but it's not working. Why isn't it working? And but so did you figure out the solution afterwards anyway?
I still don't know what happened. Like it's not a problem anymore for me, but I'm
But
not sure why.
I just imagine it's one of those things at 2 o'clock in the morning. You like you start having a dream about it. Like, I why didn't I try this? Or why doesn't it still work? It'll haunt you. But
Forever.
the so what are you doing on your streams? What type of things are you streaming besides the art?
At the moment, it has only been the collabs
Mm-hmm.
that I've been doing,
Yeah.
and but it's like I've been cooking things behind the scenes.
Mm. So care to share any of that cooking with us?
Well, some one thing I'm doing is like because I play a lot of fighting games, like Street Fighter,
Right.
Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
and I've learned, especially if you are a competitive person, I think that fighting games can easily teach someone rudimentary game theory that you can carry into any competition.
Mm. Okay.
And what I wanted to do was make a video of pointing that out
All
and
right.
the ways it applies, the way you can apply it in any other circumstance.
Hmm. Is this against a computer or against another person?
Another person.
Mm. Okay. So it's a it's almost a panacea type book, or not book, but presentation.
Yeah.
Hmm. So it's going to be as close to a one size fits all that you can do. So if somebody was playing Street Fighter, they can carry that on the same type of theory onto some other type of game. Uh, any type of fighting game, or just that specific type of fighting game.
Oh, any type of game of
Oh,
competitive. If it is verse against another player, you can probably carry this knowledge into it.
oh. So you're tampering with the laws of gaming. You, you're coming up with the lost book of knowledge here.
In a way, yes.
Yes.
We're not so the people who like shooters, the people who like fighters, we're actually not so different. We're doing the same things.
I can imagine a cabal of game developers somewhere. We must not let them come up with this. We must thwart them as all possible. Um, so that would be really cool if you were able to come up with that. Are you going to do it as a presentation, or are you going to do it as a live how to? Or how are you going to do it? Or do you know yet?
At the moment, it's planned to be a presentation.
Mm. Well, let me know when that's ready to go, because we need to promote the heck out of that, because that's going to be interesting, and it's going to take some work too, and it's going to be pretty cool, I imagine, when it's finally done. So let me know so we can push that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, with the channel, have you gotten where you wanted to be at this point, or have you gone ahead of it? Is it gone to your expectations?
I can't say I've held realistic expectations personally, but uh, after some like adjusting how I my mindset, I'm definitely just more grateful that people are willing to watch it all.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. It really does come down to it. I mean, people are coming back for you, which has got to be pretty heartening.
Oh yeah, just the one person or the two people, just those I cherish them greatly. They may not be the most chatty people, but I see them and
Yeah,
I appreciate them.
yeah. It's nice to know that you've been a part of their lives and their escape, um, as well. Do you see that your channel is kind of an escape for yourself too?
Oh, easily.
Mm. It's your chance to you can be yourself without being yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, and really with that comes a lot of freedom. I think anyway for folks. Um, so with this, are you planning to expand to other types of streaming with the presentations and the gaming as well?
Yes, there is plans to transition somewhere else eventually.
Mm.
I haven't been that far ahead in my planning, but
Mm. Yes.
there is going to be it's not going to stay like this.
Mm. There's there are plans in the works. So stay tuned. We'll have the links in the description of the interview here when we're done up on the YouTube channel. Um, so what type of games are you playing right now?
What types of games am I playing?
Hmm.
Despite the fact I just said I play a bunch of fighting games, I actually haven't been playing them all that much lately. I've been really into playing a lot of like co-op stuff with my friends.
Yeah.
You know, like there's the Monster Hunter and Valheim I already said I've been playing with on stream.
Right.
I've been playing Helldivers and Destiny with some friends
Yeah.
as
Now,
well.
I don't know about Destiny. I've seen Helldivers. You just basically keep shooting until you die. But what's Destiny about?
I couldn't say. I'm actually really new to it myself, and just been my friends have been having to tell me it's like, oh yeah, this is what you're gonna do to get better, and I'm like, okay, I guess
It's great to be able to play a game with friends that you have absolutely no idea what's going on.
it is something else for
Yeah.
sure.
It's the experience is a lot different if you've got people that you can kind of shoot it with and be relaxed around when making the presentation and as you said so far most of your streams have been that way, right?
Yeah,
Wow. Um, so with that, um, do you think that's going to be the way of the future? You're going to have more streams with other folks than just on your own?
I want some more on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But like, so, an issue I seem to be running into is I can't seem to play one game for very long,
Mm. Is it just
especially on my own.
yeah?
Yeah,
You just get bored with it, or
it's something like I don't like the energy I'm bringing to my stream, or so or I'm bored with it. Like when I say the energy I'm bringing to my stream, I'm more like refer to I have nothing to talk about.
mm,
I have I'm not being animated myself. I'm not even like my energy's low,
mm,
and I can't bring the stream up to it where I'm not.
hmm. Have you well with the types of games that you like to play, you need the energy to concentrate on the game.
Oh,
I,
for sure.
I imagine for the most part, and carrying that over to working with chat might be a little tough. Have you thought about maybe doing some type of streaming where chat is involved in the game?
I would consider that.
Yeah, I think getting in the chat involved uh, kind of automatically kind of forces everybody to communicate and gets them involved in it, and they have a stake in it too. Plus, if you get one of those situations where chat can make the decisions for you, have you seen those games where they either
Yeah.
help or hinder you? Usually hinder. That can be something too. I don't know that. I mean, I'm not a streamer myself, but it seems like that would be kind of a way to get off the schneid as far as that's concerned. Anyway.
Oh, I absolutely think so.
Yeah. Yeah. So be watching. Are there any games that you'd like to be streaming that you haven't streamed yet?
I haven't given it much thought. Like, usually hardware was holding me back beforehand,
Mm.
but I've recently upgraded. I'll have to be expanding what I stream.
Well, this the uh, the list is about to grow.
It
It,
will
it-
be.
Yeah, and it's all PC, or are you using consoles?
It is all PC.
Mm. So it's going to be those types of games. Are you would you be looking for more in the fighting type of games, or will you be kind of expanding to others as well when you look for these new ones?
Oh, not that doesn't have to be fighting. I don't even seem to stream fighting games these days. But if it makes any sense, I like games that kind of stress me out.
So games that make you worry about something else.
Yeah, or a game where I'm a little bit worried at all points in time. Like it's never I don't want it to be so frustrating that I'm not having a good time either. Just
Right.
something that's enough that's making you go, "Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no." Oh, no.
What have you ever thought about horror games?
I have thought about some horror games. I've been looking at a few.
Yeah. Um, a something like a Dead by Daylight seems to be that type of genre. I would be really frustrated with it because I wouldn't be good at it and it would always be hung on a hook. People had
Oh yeah.
come rescue me now, please. But um, it kind of has that fighting thing to go along with the horror aspect. Um, so I can't wait to see what your Steam catalog is going to be looking like. Get ready for the sales when they come up. Um, would you choose a game to play based on what you think the audience would like or what you would like?
It's kind of both. When I pick a game, I sort of try to figure out I be what could I sit there and like ramble about? Because if chat's not going, I need to still be talking.
Mm, yeah.
And so I have to pick a game around that. Like, what am if I play this game, what am I gonna have to say while I'm playing it?
Mm, that is true. That is true. And and there's different ways to go around about that, I imagine. But if you can kind of chat along with the game, and I think the more people you get in the chat might help out something like that. It's you're it seems like you're kind of at that phase now where you want to make that transition, but it's just making the transition is the problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's time to go from first gear to second, but you've got to find that the means to get there. Are you going to be expanding your platforms, going to some other platforms here?
Most likely.
Mm-hmm. And see, folks seem to use YouTube as and TikTok as kind of advertisement for their channel. Would you use it that way, or would you stream on YouTube as well, or how would you like to
I,
use it?
I think it'd definitely be more of a secondary approach to content. Like streams would definitely like be where I focus.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube would be for things that maybe a little more presentation based because I'm way too I'm way too prone to scuff to be doing those on stream.
So would that be would you be streaming your presentation about the fighting games live and then kind of putting it on YouTube an edited finished product, or would you just do go straight for the finished product?
I think I'd go straight for the finished product.
Mm. Well, yeah, you do get to control things that way and make sure it doesn't things don't leak out and go different directions, um, as will do with a live program. Uh, and I always, I do these interviews taped and playback for the most part. I don't mind if people stream them while we're doing it. It's just more comfortable for me that way because I can edit out the parts where things happen, and because life happens, and you can definitely. It's one of those things again where you don't look behind the curtain at what's going
Absolutely.
on. So has it been easy for you to um, be Fae Regalia, or is it more you than a character?
It's definitely more me. like in many ways, just then changing the name was like a little more me than it was before.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of my names before were either like, pardon the word, my word choice, piss takes, or or jokes.
Mm.
Fae Regalia was like my first name, where like this is now everything is me,
Yeah.
sincerely and 100%.
Yeah. Now you bought into it too.
Absolutely, way
Yeah.
more than I thought I was at the start.
Yeah. But is that a question of you being comfortable with it, and because as you said, you kind of got into it as a place where you wanted to feel accepted. Is it a question of once you felt a little more accepted and more comfortable with it, then you went to this particular persona?
Definitely. It was still a bit of a like a jump to
Hmm.
this persona.
Yeah, yeah. But it's it kind of signals a milestone for you.
For in many ways, yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool. That's cool. So, how much of streaming takes up your life at this point?
Not a whole lot at the moment. But I've been juggling a lot of like off stream things too.
Hmm.
So it's like the two streams I do a week now have been like almost more than I can even handle now.
You just it's to the point where you started doing this, and now everything is trying to fill in the gap around it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you think that's going to be make it tougher for you to expand, or you think you're going to be able to work around it?
I think I'm gonna be able to work around it.
Yeah, and not mess up everything else going on too, because you do have to. You can't spend 24 hours on the computer, no matter how much you would really want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and if you talk about your work, and a lot of times that work is 24-hour on call because somebody like me tries to put a chocolate eclair in the thumb drive or something and messes up a computer. Why doesn't it work? And you get a call at all times a day, so that can't be real easy to work around either.
Oh no, not at all.
Well, um, I hear the tone of your voice like, "Oh, why did he bring that up?" Not that I would do that. No, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't mess the computer up like that.
It's
One,
just I'm surprised how little tech literacy some people have in fields where they need to be on computers.
oh well, yeah. I mean, there's when I first started my current job. I mean, I knew about computers. We had to use computers and radio all the time now. But there were some folks who were older than me, which is pretty old, that were completely lost with computerized things, and they really shouldn't have been anywhere near a computer. But they were still making the calls to IT every couple of minutes. What does this Windows thing mean? Oh God! What is the most frustrated you've got with this with your career, as far as that goes?
It's always the very small things. Like as much as it frustrates me with people who are not very tech savvy and like having to explain every tiny detail to them,
Mm-hmm.
that sort of sets you up to know who you're dealing with at any point.
Yeah.
What gets me is when someone who does know computers and seems to be avoiding the most simple things. Like, have you checked if it's plugged in? They're like, oh, of course I would. Why wouldn't I do that? It's not plugged in every time.
Well, we're not going to admit to that. Somebody did that to us. We didn't do that on purpose. And I would imagine what would be really frustrating would be people who think they know what they're doing, but they don't.
That's also quite a difficult one to work with.
Well, I use this program that I brought from my thumb drive at home. Why doesn't it work on this? And then you spend 3 days trying to extract that spyware program they just put on the computer. Have you had to deal with that yet?
Oh, definitely. Not that specifically, but your own employees are definitely like the number one risk you have in
Mm-hmm.
security.
Oh yeah, we get stuff all the time from our IT department, testing us on emails. Um, putting in spam emails and phishing emails. And if somebody hits the wrong button, they get sent to having to go through a test just to be able to get their email back. I haven't been caught on it very much. Um, Less than some, more than others, but most of the time I get caught on it. Is that the most frustrating thing for you? Is the people who think they know what they're doing?
It definitely is.
Well, yeah,
They are the single most stuck in their ways of how things should be done.
and they try to.
Anybody anybody who admits they don't know anything about computers is like, okay, well, you're the professional. You're
Yeah,
you may have to explain a bunch of things to them, but they'll follow your instructions.
yeah, yeah. What too? I've seen that people who know a little bit enough to be dangerous tend to try and spread that to other people.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Well, well, Joe in financing said that if I just kept turning my computer on and off constantly for half an hour, it would work fine. Everything would be
Well,
reset.
Joe's not in the IT team.
Why do I have a blue screen of death? You broke something. That's why the button doesn't work anymore. You hit it too many times. Um, so you've been able to take that frustration and lose it by going on and being Fae.
Yes.
That's that's good because I can't imagine the amount of frustration that must build up in that sort of a job. I know how much I can create in people who have that sort of job, and I don't try to do it. But it's nice that you have not only a positive outlet, but you're trying to make it a positive outlet for everybody else too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. If we look at a year ahead for your channel, where do you want to be?
Where do I want to be? I definitely would like to be a little more, like, at most 3 times a week streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, that's where I want to be at minimum, not at
Mm-hmm.
most. And I want to be making semi-regular YouTube content. What that could be, who knows? We'll figure it out.
I like that. You're throwing the semi-regular with just the hint of I I don't really I'm not committing to the word semi.
Absolutely not committing to semi.
uh, Occasionally, quite often, sometimes. That's that's how it looks. Um, so it's not really not far away a goal for you. It's just a question of getting the time and the wherewithal to do it, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I and like I need to broaden my skill set a lot more as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Is this because the skill set isn't going to be computer wise? So is the skill set in dealing with people wise, or the actual YouTube VTubing equipment itself?
It's a lot of yeah,
Mm.
both equipment, setting things up. Like I recently figured out my audio setup's not too great. Need
Mm.
to work on that.
Mm. Yeah, and audio is its own special fun. Why is it, folks who ever try to set up a microphone for anything knows that something you didn't plan for is going to affect the microphone. Uh, Either you've got a speaker behind it, and you're always going to have that little sound of feedback doom in the background, or you're too close to somebody else, or you got the wrong microphone. That's really something. I mean, do you think people realize how many different types of microphones there are?
No one does. No,
Yeah, it's
I didn't even realize.
yeah, cardioid patterns and crowd mics. A crowd mic is different than the regular mic. Just because your mic is more powerful, it doesn't make it better. You got there's so many directional type of microphones. Do you want a microphone that'll do the stereo thing when you go back and forth, or do you want one that'll pick your voice up when you're farther away, or do you want the one that only does it that only picks up your voice when you're directly in front of it? There's so many things. Heck, sound baffling. That's a big thing too, and people don't use it. Um, that can save you a lot of money. It doesn't cost very much at all. Um, just you know, and check out if you have problems. Check out your local IT person because they're probably not busy.
They're definitely not busy. Bother your local IT person.
That's right. I'm surprised you didn't just hang up. If I was you, I would have at that point.
Nope, every other IT person is now gonna suffer as I have.
Well, I'm glad that you're able to do this for everybody and for yourself too. It sounds like that, especially when you're on with the other folks, you're having fun, and that's the biggest thing, and the acceptance part too. To be able to be brought into a community and not feel uncomfortable uh, with what you're with yourself. Well, that's the wrong way to say it. Not feel uncomfortable that other people aren't comfortable with you.
Yeah,
That has to be huge, and I'm glad you've been able to find that.
I'm grateful for it as well.
Yeah, yeah. I'm grateful for you coming on with us, Faye. We'll have the links for what Faye's got going on in the description for the video, and once you get to some events coming up, and some of those cloak and dagger behind the scene things you're working on that you won't tell us about in your secret laboratory.
They're still in idea phases. Not much to tell.
Once you get those things going, let us know and we'll do some updates for you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.